Okay. So, like once again, somehow mine is being pretty weird. Let me just see if I can just close this one real quick. And I'm about to just really literally open mine real quick.
Professor, I keep logging on to SPSS and it keeps kicking me out.
I hate that. Happens to me a few times too. Today's not really, wasn't really acting good for me either. Like I said, I have a corrupted one that doesn't want to close. And now this one here got a little corrupted too with that one spot that's there. So just keep going back in, okay? Because it's permanent. It's a connection or the processing speed on your computer. That's impacting it. Okay. Good. So I'm about to get mine open again. Hopefully it doesn't have that same issue. Oh, so you guys have these things open? Because I know some of you guys might not have this week open, so I should have posted it for you guys.
Can you show me how you go to the data that you saved?
1 second. Things are popping up in front of me. I'm trying to do something else. Oh crap. So right here you can actually open up previous data. I'm just not gonna do it here because one of these guys is corrupted. And it's still, and so I don't want to, I'm gonna go the long way, which I'm just showing you guys right now. But anyways, does anyone need the PDF and of the commands and the lecture and guide class notes? I'll go put it in the chat right now. No one? Okay. So come back over here. So the first one we're gonna be seeing here is, okay, we're gonna be selecting analyze and then the taskbar, and we're gonna drop it down to compare means. Okay. And we're gonna be selecting means. That's the main objective. So therefore, I'm gonna do the same thing on SPSS. So I'm gonna pretty much go to analyze in the taskbar, go down to compare means, and select means. Okay. Oh, and you said something about data, huh? My data's not there. I forgot about that. So it is going to yours, whoever asked about it. Go to files, go to open, and data. Files, open, data. Okay. It takes a little while. Okay. So from here, you have to go to, depending on your computer, you have to go in this PC for everyone, and you're going to go to see on computer for, this is for Mac, only for PCs. Macs, see on this computer, and you go to your documents. But I'm going to go to see on this computer, or on this laptop for the most part. Then I'm going to go to users. And then choose my computer name. Like I said, this is the slow part. Come on. And then when you're done that, you're going to go to documents, because that's where you have it saved. And documents. Others who have it installed, you guys might have it in downloads already, or uploaded it, but mine's saved in documents. So I'm gonna open documents. And I'm gonna choose the appropriate data set. For mine, I'm gonna go for this one right here, not that one, because I think that's the one that's corrupted. It's really has all come question marks on minds after I was trying to do a few things. And it literally doesn't want to close. Okay. But after that, everything should be opening. Here's the outbox or upper box. We're not gonna worry about that for now, just drop it, and the data is appearing. So now this is where we could go and get started from this. So now I have my data in, everything set up, I'm gonna go to analyze, compare means. So I got that open. So now what it's saying to do is it wants us to go and select ages. Okay, we want to select age for the dependent list. Okay, and then for marital status, you want to select that for independent list. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So here we go. So we're going to do age, and age is supposed to go to the dependent list. Okay. Meanwhile, marital goes to the independent list. If you want to get more data, more measurements, go over here. It'll just give you the mean, the sample size, and the standard deviation, which is what it's really asking for. But if you want to get more information, just click on options. And this is where you have a full list of other things you could compute. Okay, but by default, it's going to do the mean, a number of cases, and the standard deviation. Okay, for the data we have. So right here, we're not going to worry about that. But that's where you get everything else. Okay, if you want to find other things. But I'm going ahead and click on OK, because that's what's in it right here. Once you have done that, just click OK. So I'm going to click OK. And it does what I say it was going to do. The premise gives us the the percentages of valid and invalids for the most part. And over here, it's pretty much doing the mean and standard deviation and the number of case data is in that case. Okay, or number of cases. Okay, for a particular category. So the question is, what is this? What is being done here? So one thing it's doing, I'm gonna get my annotate out real quick. Make it I'll make it maroon. So this total region right here, okay, when it says the total, this is your full sample of the data. So this is a full sample data. Okay, so that's not so it's not breaking into little categories. It's all of them mixed in together. Okay. Okay. So when we talk about this mean, this is the mean to the full sample. If we talk about the standard deviation, it's a standard deviation to this full sample. And the sample, the whole sample has a total of 23 participants. So when we're seeing over here, we're seeing single, married, and divorced. So each one, so of the M, let me change the colors for now. Okay. Like for single, okay, we know there's a total of 12 participants in that for single. And what it does is for those 12 participants, it makes its own mean for it and standard deviation for it. So this is the mean and standard deviation for single people of those 12 that were observed. Similarly, for married, same thing's happening, and for divorce, same thing's happening. Okay, so that's what the SPSS is doing for us. It's getting that situated. So when we're looking at this, understand this is a full sample, and these are comparisons. So now we could do some comparison between the means and standard deviations, where our mean is measured at center, while standard deviation is measured variability, or spread. So we could definitely see over here that divorce has the highest. Okay, this is in the middle. Oh, I can't write too nice. Okay, so I'll just put H for highest, M for middle, and lowest when it comes to the mean. Okay, so we can make comparison. We could write in ascending order, or make sure we get the ranking, or you could say that the ordering from smallest to largest, which is pretty cool and nice when we compare means. And we could do same thing for standard deviation for the variation, the spread, the measure of variations. Oh, I thought I changed the color. I do not. Okay. Okay. So pretty much for standard deviation, we pretty much have the same thing. So we have, this is the low, mid, and high. Okay. So we can make comparisons for there. And we should understand what is standard deviation. It's supposed to be the average deviation that the data's in the data set that's been calculated is from this mean. Okay. That's what standard deviation means. It's the average deviation of the data. And so that's what we use for empirical rule if it's normally distributed. But I hope that was pretty clear with that, so you could get a few reports from there that you can be discussing yourselves when you're doing the homework. Now, there's one more thing that we should be talking about, and that's going to be coming over here to my other image. Okay, that's in the guide. This guided your scouts and notes for the PowerPoint. And that is, so what it's a standard deviation, but what is a standard deviation? Because in our department, we're seeing different ones. We're seeing, we got variance for the most part, but it's the same thing for standard deviation. Okay. We have the sample, so I could put standard, so STD for short, period, dev for short, and that's standard deviation. Okay. So pretty much we're seeing the same thing here. Okay. Just note that variance is S squared, while standard deviation is just S. Okay, similar over here, sigma, and over here, little s. Okay, for standard deviation. But once again, you have to see this in your video. Okay, but they might have clearly explained this part for you. So I'm going to be doing this for us. So when it comes down to, let me put this in green, or actually purple, nice. When we're looking at the full population, and we're going for a summation of the full population, we have to make sure we're looking at the sigma. So we're looking at this formula right here. Okay, that's what's happening in our department. When it comes down to the sample, and we have to get the standard deviation for the sample without doing any type of inferences. So I'll put this one in orange. The sample, just to get the sample, it's pretty much using this formula right here. One thing is you might, this M here, if using tech, it's actually locate X bar for sample mean, mu is for population, X bar is for sample. Okay, I know they tend to be putting N here, but the notation for sample mean, if we're talking about sample, is X bar. What else? So, but once again, SPSS is not doing either of these two calculations. It's not. What SPSS is pretty much doing, these are actually population estimations that estimates the population. Okay? Other books refer to it as a point estimator. Okay? And so what's really happening here, what is this computation doing? What it's doing is it's going, and I'm good pink out, or green. I did purple, I'll do green. Okay. This green. And what it's saying here is they're using the sample to estimate the population. That's what is happening here. So it's actually the estimator. Oop. Okay. So it's a population estimator. That's the one that estimates the population. And so when it's going from sample to estimate the population, this is using this formula right here. Okay. And that happens to be these, oops, crap, I'm sorry. Annotate on this one, actually, and put green. Okay. So what's happening here is we're getting these standard deviations, okay, it's actually going to the population estimated one. So it's very, so don't just say it's a sample, say it's a population estimated standard deviations when we're comparing them. Because we don't want to get those confused with sample variance, population, standard deviation or variance. We want to know that this is the estimated one based off what we're doing in our department, okay? But are there any questions with that? Once again, next week, we're going to be pretty much trying to understand when is it a reasonable estimation, how can we identify and know it based off the department's standards, and when we have the sample or the population, okay? And how we just compute using those guys. But the one that's slight difference is the denominator. It's n-1 for estimation. But once again, look at the video, catch on to those notes, and next week we'll in the next week we're going to be discussing these things and getting them solidified. But this is something you have to do this week in order for you to open up next week. So therefore, that's why I'm doing this for you. So no questions? So if you need to screenshot this into your computer, okay, or something, so you could have that as a note. That would be, I'll be clearing out the screen and I'm dropping this down while going back to the navigation to get the rest of the stuff. Okay. But get your 3 reports from here based on the discussion. That's all I'm asking for. So you could do comparisons, you could talk about the whole thing, and also understand what the standardization is and what it's really doing. Okay. Oh, and it's supposed to be putting braces here for the whole population. That's the estimator for it. Oh, and I did that one. Great. Stop editing. Make this nicer. Okay, click. Okay. But anyways, there it is. So I'm gonna stop editing real quick. Well, clear the navigations. Okay, that's done. So that one's out the way. So real quick, I'm gonna pretty much explain how we're getting into this legacies and get into the histograms and the bar graphs in that regards. So we're still looking at the same data. It's still the dataset 1. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go to, in this case, I have blue on, so I'll make it purple for right now. Okay. So we're gonna definitely be going to graphs. We're gonna go to legacy dialog box, and we're gonna be choosing the histograms from there. That's what we're gonna do. That's the first thing I'm gonna do over here. So I'm gonna go to graphs, which is right here. Go down to legacy dialogs, and I'm gonna choose histogram, which happens to be in the very bottom. So I click on that. So now we have to figure out how we're gonna input these things. And it pretty much says right here, after we do that, we're gonna select mathematics, okay, skills. So we're looking at the skills, mathematical skills, and we're gonna put it into the variable, okay, and variables right here. So I'm gonna select the mathematical skills, and I'm gonna drop it into the variable. And it says one more important thing here, and it says to click, okay, on display normal curve. So I'm gonna click on display normal curve, which is right below it. Click on it, and I can press OK. If you want to give a title to the graph, you can go here, you can put a title on it, but we're just gonna go with what it's giving, and OK it. So what are done, if we put title, it will be putting a title right here on top. Okay. So now we have our curve. So we could definitely look at some response from here. You could definitely talk about, okay, where the highest and which interval has the highest number of participants. which ones have the lowest. You could talk about at least more different type of percentages or counts. And you can even talk about the general shape of it. You definitely see that it's be slightly skewed. I wish it could be the median here, so you could definitely see it within here, or skewedness. But you could kind of see that majority of data, it appears to be more to the left, so it's slightly skewed right. But those are things you could be asking, you could be doing into your reports. Okay. So there's many ways, there's many things you can answer based off this graph, and that's what you guys are gonna be doing. Okay. So let's come back over here and get to the bar graph. So bar graph. Okay. I'm gonna change the color, and let's go with green. So over here, we're doing a similar idea. So we're still going to graphs, because we're still looking at make a graph, but now we're gonna go to still legacy dialog box, but we're gonna choose the bar chart. Now, the bar chart is not in there, but it says bar. So we're gonna go for the bar, and then bar chart will occur. So that's what we're gonna do. So once again, graphs, legacy, bar. So this is your bar chart right here. Even though it says bar, this is a bar chart. So let's go ahead and click on this. And notice I see right here, bar chart. So now we're going to continue with this. It says right here, before doing anything, we're going to have to select simple and then define it. So simple is selected. Okay, you know, it's a black ring around it, so it's been selected. And all I got to do is click on define. Okay. Now this is where we define, we're going to define the variables and put them where they belong. And that's where it says right here, we're going to be selecting a meritorious status for the category x-axis. Let me, oh, that didn't erase. Okay. So we're going to go to the category axis. And that's where we're looking out here. So here's the category axis. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and get the meritorious status, and we're going to drop it into the category axis. Once again, you could put a title here if you want to get some options, if you want to look to those. But I'm just going to okay it as it is. And now I have the bar graph for meritorious status. Okay. And obviously it's count, because this frequency is the count on, which you understand as frequency. And we now have our outputs. And so now we could talk about a lot of good information from here, like, okay, which meritorious status has the lowest amount of the count, which is meritorious status, it's the mode, what's the most meritorious status. We could definitely see that with the highest frequency. And we could talk about percentages of different ways, not single, or percentage of singles, and different type of percentages that you want to report. But that's what's going to come down to you, your type of reports. And I'm just going to start to see, are those reports valid based off what you're reading. So question is, are there any questions? It need to be reviewed again. Any confusions or anything needs to be clarified? So got none. So definitely all you guys gotta do is get these images, screenshot them, snip them wherever your computer does, and get them into a Word document or Google Docs. And like you did for the first exercise, and put the reports. Report 3 important findings that you got from the outputs. Let me see what you got over here. Yeah, rate the graphs and write what you see on the graph. So what are some important things you could get from this graph, like mode, like skewedness, like percentages above, below, and percentages in certain categories. Those are things that you could do, or counts within certain categories. Things you could get we should be able to compute and explain when we look at these graphs. Does that answer your question, Giselle? Oh, wait, can, am I down? Okay, cool. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So for this one, we just screenshot the picture of the histogram and then upload it, and then we take a screenshot of the bar chart and upload it in 2 separate ones, right?
Yeah, because it's asking for both of them. So for the upload, it's going to go to 4.2 practice exercise. So you're going to upload both of those outputs, and then you can report 3 important findings that you got from the outputs.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So similar to what we did last time with the cross tab tables and all the other outputs, we're doing the same thing, but over here it requires us to see both graphs.
Okay.
Yes, I will be. Here's I might to upload to YouTube and send to there because it's more clear that way versus doing it straight through Zoom. Zoom somehow makes it blurry, so you can't really see like these fine prints. For the most part, YouTube is actually more high def, so I'm gonna go with the high def, high resolutions, like I did for the other one.
Will you be sending us the links through info?
Like once again, how you find these suckers. One of them, but you will pretty much get to where I need to be. It's in student view. Let me essence real quick. So under modules, all you're gonna do is just go down to the very bottom where you get to the additional resources posted by instructor. It's right after pretty much week 15, week 16. Right, definitely towards the bottom. There it is, after week 15. You see additional resources provided by instructor, and you will see one that has my pages for computer exercise videos. So when you click inside, when you click this page, you would definitely be seeing the videos. Why is it doing that? That's weird. Why is it doing that? Make it bigger. Any other questions? Does that help you out, Cynthia?
Yes, that helps.
Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna go permit this. I'm gonna stop the recording now. I'll start sharing and stop the recording.